Vienna, the Austrian capital, acclaimed for the opera and teeming with imperial palaces, beautiful no matter where you turn. It also happens to be the starting point for our Austria, Switzerland, and everywhere in between road trip. In part 1 of this video, we are going to spend 2 days exploring the city, taking you inside some of the finest attractions in Europe before hitting the road. But first, we had to get there, and our trip could not have started with better news. Getting ready to go to the airport, and we just got an alert on our phone that the US is dropping its requirement to test negative to re-enter the country, so taking these out of our bag. After connecting through Paris, we touched down in Vienna, eager to make the most of the time we had there. One of my favorite things to do in Vienna is to simply walk around and admire the architecture. It seems no matter where you are in the city center, everything is grandiose. There are also dozens of parks and gardens scattered throughout, many in the shadows of impressive Baroque buildings dating back hundreds of years. Of course, if you're headed to Vienna, you will surely have the Schönbrunn Palace on your list. A quick train away from the city center, there is no building or garden complex more impressive, especially when you consider this was just the summer home of the Habsburg family. Imagine this as your second house. At the Schönbrunn, there were several options to tour the ground. The all-inclusive palace tour and garden access was €40 and what most people opt for. I had the chance to tour the interior on a previous trip, which was worth it, but not something I felt the need to repeat. So this time we opted for just the garden access for €10. I found this was not worth it because you can still tour the expansive park and other garden areas for free, while the €10 simply provides you with access to the small gardens flanking either side of the palace. Back in the city center, the historic Opera House and St. Stephen's Cathedral are two buildings you can't miss. If the opera is your thing, there are over 50 operas performed each year with additional ballet performances frequently available for viewing. The Opera House is also open for guided tours, but check their website in advance for availability. In a city famous for architecture, St. Stephen's Cathedral stands out. The multicolored tile roof is a work of art in itself. It's free to enter the church, but I highly recommend spending €6 to climb all 343 steps to the top of the spire. The views of the roof alone are worth it, but you also get 360-degree views of Vienna as far as the eye can see. Yeah.
Just climbed all the way up there, 343 steps.
To make the most of your time at St. Stephen's, you can also take a guided tour of the catacombs beneath the church for €6 additional. We did this, but filming was not allowed and frankly, was not our favorite use of time. There are enough palaces, museums, and architecture to take in that for even active travelers, a 4-day itinerary can easily be packed. When planning your trip, take into consideration which sites you may want to simply look at from the outside or spend more time taking a deeper dive inside. Also consider spending a few minutes and €8 to tour the Vienna National Library, which was really cool, and be sure not to miss the grounds of the Belvedere Palace as well. Of course, Being on the go all day long will tire you out. You'll need a great spot to stay and surely be famished, ready to indulge in the evolving food scene in Vienna. On our trip, we stayed at the Hotel Grand Ferdinand Vienna. The location on the famous Ringstrasse could not have been better. I'll link more information on the Ringstrasse below, but it's known as the world's most beautiful boulevard. The hotel was walkable to many main sites and minutes from tram and train stops. Our room was clean and had the essentials, but had only a semi-private shower visible to most of the room, and like many European hotels, had lackluster air conditioning. The rooftop, open for breakfast and bar service, was certainly the best part of the property, and somewhere we spent a good bit of time. For the location and rooftop alone, I would recommend this hotel. Vienna has a robust network of tram and rail lines connecting the 23 districts in the city. We bought a 24-hour pass for €8 and used them to navigate to and from restaurants and ice cream. Of course, when in Vienna, you'll definitely be keen to eat Wiener Schnitzel and sausages. For a traditional Austrian meal, a bit off the beaten path, consider venturing to the 6th district to Amerlingsbasel. This was probably the cutest restaurant we ate at all trip and one of the best.
Even better. They call chicken nuggets here schnitzies.
But it can be tough to eat heavy Austrian meals day after day. Vienna has an evolving food scene with great international food. We tried Chinese at Chili and Pfeffer and enjoyed the outdoor seating and patio. Of course, you'll also want to grab a few drinks and enjoy some ice cream. You're on vacation after all. 1516 Brewery in the city center was a great place for beer and a snack. And if you need an extra bite to soak up the beer, stop at one of the hundreds of roadside sausage stands for a brat. Gelateria La Romana actually has the best ice cream I've ever had, and I'm not just saying that. If you don't believe me, check out this line. They fill your cone with warm melted chocolate, which makes the last bite as good as the first. You have to check it out. There are 2 bucket list food things we did not get to fully experience in Vienna. The first is cafe culture. Although we had lunch at a cafe near the hotel, to fully immerse yourself in the tradition requires you to relax and enjoy a cup of coffee and a slice of cake for an hour or two at one of the famous coffee houses in the city. The other is the Nosh Market. Vienna's most well-known market has over 120 stands and restaurants that offer something from every corner of the country and globe. We tried our best to shop around and enjoy a snack here. However, when we were there, it was closed, and I'm not sure why. What we missed out on in the food scene was made up for by the crazy Pride Week vibes we had no idea we were walking into. The atmosphere could be felt across the city and on the Ringstrasse as the parade came past our hotel. As the parade came to an end, so did our time in Vienna. It's a world-class city that I cannot recommend enough. This was my second time there, and I still feel like I have so much more to see. However, it was time to go pick up our rental car and hit the road to begin the Austria, Switzerland, and everywhere in between road trip. If you have not already, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and we'll see you next time for part 2.